Today, we are going to be looking at some really fun DIY crafts that you can do for Thanksgiving. It's the perfect time of year to start thinking about those, and we will look at some different things you can do to kind of make decor pieces for your home. Now, before we get started, make sure, of course, that you like this video, that you subscribe to our channel, and turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss any of our content. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we have created. So these are simple, but still so beautiful. And that's what I love. Quick, easy, simple, but still have a really nice impact. So you can see we've done a few different things here. We've created this fun little napkin ring. We also have a little, this could hold your recipe or your menu for the day, or even have a cute little note inside of it. We've made this fun little pocket, and then we've created a banner, which is just always a nice piece to have on display during any special events. So let's go ahead and see how we created those. We'll make a little space here and take a look at all the different parts and pieces. Let's start with this one because I love this idea because it works not only as a great little spot for each person so they know where they're going to sit. You can see we have this one personalized with the person's name, but it also tells them what they can expect in the menu. And like I said, you could do other things in here too. You could even maybe put a little piece of paper that people could write things they're grateful on, but just something really easy to do to create for your event. Now, for this menu part, all we did was just go ahead and print the menu onto cardstock, and then we cut it down and mounted it. And this is just stamped. So we just stamped using an alphabet, the word menu there. This is just a little die cut that we used of a leaf. So we just die cut that and gave it a little fold for some dimension in there. And then I want to talk about this little pocket because it was so easy to create. Let's take a look at how we did that over here. So I have some parts here ready just to show you quickly. And you can see that we have gone ahead and embossed the name, which you can do with just embossing powder and a Versamark. We've added a little stamped image here across the bottom, and we've done tone on tone stamping because we wanted it to be a nice decorative element, but kind of more subtle. So instead of using a different contrasting color, we've just used that tone on tone. It really looks nice. Now, the other thing that you'll see a lot as we look at the artwork in here is you see a little bit of white edge around this, and that is actually our cardstock. Our cardstock has a white core, and so we've done a lot of sanding on these projects just to give it a little bit of a distressed edge, which I think really finishes it off nicely. Now, this was so simple to create. So this is just one rectangle, of course, folded in half. We've then cut this down to size you want it the same length. I'm also going to attach it like this, and I've done it where we've done the stamping and the embossing on the light side of our cardstock. So our cardstock, in addition to having the white core, is dark on one side, lighter on the other. Now I could have gone ahead and done it this way, right? So you see the same on both sides, but I really liked the look of that little subtle contrast there. So all we did here is just put some adhesive along the edges and then across the bottom, because of course you don't want to put it at the top because you want this to have a fun little pocket. And then this not only serves as a little place setting so that people know where they'll be sitting, but also a great little holder for different things. You could even put a little mint or something in there as a little after dinner mint if you'd like. So such a cute and easy way to kind of just carry that theme throughout all the different things that you're creating. The next thing that I want to talk about quickly is this here. How fun is this? This is just a fun little napkin ring that we've created, and I think it's really neat what we did to create that. So we have things like this that are embossing folders. This one is made specifically for Slimline cards, so that's why it's this size that you see here. And so we've gone ahead and just run that through on a piece of our cardstock. Now remember, the core of our cardstock, like I mentioned, is white. So you'll see this pattern around the outside edge here. And to carry on with that distressing look that we kind of have going for our theme here, all we did was grab a little bit of sandpaper and then just go ahead and just sand that so that it takes off some of that color of the paper and pulls up, you see that white coming through, which gives it a really neat distressed look. all just done by using a Slimline embossing folder. So then what we did was we went ahead and just folded it, tri-folded it here to go ahead and work as our napkin ring. And of course we decorated it using different things like die cuts. I'll bring in a few that we have prepared. So you'll see these fun leaf die cuts, variety of sizes. You could use any leaf die cuts or any that you've cut on any of your cutting machines. And same thing here. Remember, this is on cardstock, so we have that white core, and we've just taken that sandpaper and gone around the edges to bring up that distressed look. So that would kind of be where these two are here. We also added a little glitter because who doesn't like a little glitz and glitter, which is really fun as well. And again, just cut this in some shapes that we have from die cuts. And that's how we created this little cluster. Now we also added to this our sentiment here that says Happy Thanksgiving. That was done with the embossing like we did on the menu card. So you can see we're kind of carrying that same theme throughout, which really makes everything look so nice together. So these colors, we just picked colors that felt like autumn for us and that kind of went with the theme that we were working with, and we just build on that a little bit with each step. So any of the shapes and things like this, again, you could use any die cuts to create. It's just creating this fun little top piece here to your napkin ring. Okay, next up we have a big one and I love it, and it is this thankful banner. This is so fun, and this is something that's easy and quick to do. Anyone can create these, and they really have such a big impact when you walk into that room and see this hanging or on a mantle or on the table. And what we've done on this is we have used our wooden letters, and of course we spelled out thankful for this. You could do whichever word you know fit your theme the best. Also, when you get these little letters, I want to show you one so you can see. They're also individually, which makes spelling whatever you want to so easy. So they come like this, and then they also come with an SVG. So it makes cutting all of these shapes so easy. You don't have to worry about, tracing them or anything like that. So we've just gone ahead and cut those out, again, keeping the colors in our color theme. And then we've added some stamping and of course a little glitz to these, which we'll show in just a minute. But super easy to then just attach those cut and stamped pieces to the wood and attach them to the ribbon. Now, just like with the napkin ring, we've also created these pieces from the leaves. Any that work for you, any that are in your color family that you're using. And same thing, we've gone ahead and added these at different little spots here to just tie in with our theme. We've added some sponging to some of them, and like I showed earlier, we've also gone ahead and just sanded down some as well to give it that fun distressed look. So let's see how easy it can be to go ahead and create with some of these letters. So I'll show you a couple that are done just so that you can see what we did on these. So you can see again that tonal stamping, which just goes well with the theme that we've been doing on all of the different projects that we saw today. But then we did add a little bit of glitz to these as well, just to give them a little bit of sparkle. It also ties in nicely with those leaves that we had cut that we've used on this banner. So I'm going to grab just a scrap piece of paper. I'll kind of push these up a little bit so you can see them, but I want to show you how easy it was to add that little stamping detail at the bottom. So I'm just going to grab my F, and then I'm going to grab, this is toffee, so I want my toffee ink because remember, I want to stamp in that same color so that it's kind of more muted. And I just grabbed a background stamp. So this is the one that I'm using. It's called Winter Borders. You could, of course, use any stamp that you want, but I love these leaves here. It just goes perfect with our theme. And then I'm going to go ahead and just ink this up in that toffee ink or whatever color you're using. Remember, we're using the colors that match the color that we're stamping onto. And then I just did a little bit across the bottom. It just gives it a little tiny taste of it down here. And then we'll go ahead and add some glitz to that, because who doesn't love a little bit of something sparkly and shiny on their project? So here I'm going to add some of the platinum stickles to this. And I'm just going to add it to just these little veins in these leaves. Again, just giving it a little bit of sparkle. And it just finishes it off, I think, really nicely. And then you can see here what it looks like on that completed banner. That fast and that easy to create not only this great banner, but things like that napkin ring holder, the little menu holder, so many different quick and easy crafts that you can create for the holiday season.